For today's project, you are going to need your pencil and your Sharpie. We will begin with pencil. You have to be able to erase, so make sure you use a pencil. We will begin by drawing a large circle near the top of our paper, almost to the bottom. I like to practice drawing it first and maybe even put a dot near the top and near the bottom so I know where to start and end my circle. Then draw a big circle to connect those dots. If you don't like the shape of your circle, like I didn't like mine, you can simply fix the parts that you didn't like and then erase out the mistakes. Before you move on, check that your circle is big enough by spreading your fingers out and seeing if your hand fits inside it. If it is smaller than your hand, you need to make your circle bigger. Now go to the bottom of your circle and draw a curved line going to the edge of your paper for your bear's shoulders. Move to the top of your bear's head and draw 2 half circles. Then draw another half circle that is much bigger around that one to create your bear's ears. For the snout of your bear, draw a big upside down U in the middle of your paper, then connect it with a bigger U underneath. Notice it looks like an avocado or a peanut. For the eyes, leave a pretty big space from the snout and draw 2 small circles on either side. Now I'm going to give you some options for the nose. You may draw a curved line with a V shape to create a nose, or you could draw like a bubble letter T to create a different shape for your bear's nose, or you may simply draw an oval for your bear's nose. So choose one of those 3 noses that you like the best and draw it. I will show you 2 options for the bear's mouth. You may make an open, smiling mouth with teeth for your bear. Draw 2 triangles at the top and then small, bumpy lines for the bottom teeth. Or you may start in the middle of your bear's nose and draw a J and then a backwards J to create the bear's mouth closed. So once again, choose whichever one you like best and draw it. Now use your eraser and erase the top section of your bear's head in between the ears. Then draw a line that curves down and back up again to reconnect it to get a more realistic shape for your bear's head. Now get out your Sharpie and trace the outside of your eyes. Then draw a smaller circle inside of there and color the space around that smaller circle. Next, trace the outside of your bear's nose and draw a small oval shape near the top. That's the shiny highlight. Color in all of the nose except for that small oval. Remember, we're learning about texture, and shiny is a texture too. If you drew an open mouth, you may go ahead and color in the space inside of it except for the teeth with your black Sharpie. If you drew a closed mouth, just trace the lines for your closed mouth. Finally, trace around the snout for your bear. Next, we're going to go back to our pencil and draw some guidelines for where we add our textures. So leave about a finger-sized space from the top of your bear's head and draw a line that matches the curved shape of the top of your bear's head. So you will curve up, back down, and then back up again until you reach the other side of your bear's head. Draw another one about a finger-sized space below that. Continue with your pencil and draw 2 circles around the eyes. 2 on one eye and 2 around the other eye. Continue drawing guidelines with your pencil that match that first line you drew at the top of the bear's head. Notice how I skip over the eyes and the snout as I am drawing this line. Keep using your finger as a guide to measure how far apart the spaces should be. Next, draw guidelines in the ears. They should curve like a frown or like the top of your ear. Do this for both ears. Once you have finished all your guidelines, we're ready to go back to the Sharpie and add our hatching lines to create texture. You're going to draw short vertical lines that are pretty close together. These lines are vertical, so straight up and down, just changing the size of them, how tall or short they are, based on the amount of space you have in your guidelines. If you notice you have some bigger spaces between some of your lines, go back and add more in. Continue adding these guidelines throughout your bear's head. Notice how I am skipping over the sections where I've drawn circles around the eyes, and I'm also skipping over the snout. Now we're going to add these lines going across the bear's ears. When you are inside the very small circle of the ears, put your texture lines really close together, almost touching, to make that area darker in value. Then go back to the rest of the ear and fill them in with texture lines just like we did on the bear's face. The last bit of texture lines will go around the bear's eyes, same spacing as on the head. When you're going around the bear's eyes, you'll want to turn your paper in a circle as you work. This will help keep your texture lines nice and straight. Add these to the smaller circle and the bigger circle. Now we are ready to erase all those guidelines. If you have a big eraser, that will make this much easier, but still be careful to only erase small sections at a time so you don't accidentally wrinkle or rip your paper. Once you've finished erasing the face, use your Sharpie to trace your bear's shoulders. We will stop here for the week. Save your artwork to be finished next time.